I see this chat and there's so many friends I know, which is really super fun. And those of you that I don't know, can't wait to meet you. I'm Christina Williams, and it's so funny when I hear people say like, these diamond trainers are the best of the best, because I'm over here like, really? We just have failed repeatedly, over and over and over until we have a few things figured out. But the fact of the matter is, you guys, I'm still in this thing building right alongside of you every single day. Every single day, the things that we're going to talk about being standard operating procedures for you and all of this, just know I'm still actively doing it. I'm still actively recruiting. I'm still actively creating business builders. This is still my primary focus. And really, it will be until every single person that I have the opportunity to lead hits their goals. So I just want you to know I'm in the trenches with you. And we're going to talk today about eliminating barriers, because the truth of the matter is you're going to come into this Jewel School with junk. Maybe you're crushing it and you're fearful that it's going to go away. Or maybe you are someone who thinks I'm a has-been. I used to crush it and now I'm not crushing it, and that must mean I'm phony or whatever. So the big idea is that you have earned your right to be here. And you guys hear me say this all the time. You're exactly where you deserve to be in your business, good or bad. And that should make you feel empowered, because that means you can change it. You don't like where you are? Congratulations, you're not a tree. You can move. And so that's the big idea. You are responsible for your success. You're not dependent upon anyone else, corporate, etc. And listen, people will say, yeah, right, you can't build this without people. You're exactly right. But your success is not dependent on any one person, any primary leg, any dream teamer, or any rock star. You're literally dependent upon yourself. And the things that maybe never went well with that person, you've learned from that. You've gained wisdom and experience, and now you can change that moving forward. So here's your objectives today. We're going to identify barriers that keep you from growing. Okay, we all have them. Even the most successful people have barriers. You're going to work on developing a positive mindset rooted in accountability. There is a difference in a limited mindset and a growth mindset, or a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. And then we're going to recognize that you have a choice to allow barriers to exist in your mind. Sometimes that is the most powerful thing of all, is people realize, holy smokes, I am not actually required to accept whatever I'm thinking or believing about myself. I have an opportunity to veto that. I don't have to receive that. So we're going to talk about that today. All right. So the first thing I want you to think about is, what are the 4 words that will stop you from learning? So drop this in the chat. If you can think of, there's 4 words, it's a phrase that will automatically halt your brain from being open or receptive. Brooke, you're so smart. Yes, she nailed it. It is, I already knew that. So if you see me look over here, you guys, it's because I get nervous just like everybody else. I have notes just like everybody else. So just know if I'm looking over here, it's because I want to make sure that I don't miss this. So yeah, it is, I already knew that. It has been proven that that can be the most detrimental thought for an entrepreneur. Because when someone gets on stage and you think, well, I've already exceeded her blank, whatever it is. Maybe I have more stars than her. Maybe I have more level 1s than her. Maybe I have won more prizes than her. Maybe I have more time in the game than her. Maybe I have whatever. So I can't learn from what she's going to share. It will shut your brain down. Here's the thing though, you can absolutely gain wisdom and insight from anybody. I'm talking about anybody. You can chew up meat and spit out bones, no matter who it is. So when you come into Jewel School, what I want you to know is, it doesn't have to be your preferred trainer. You don't have to have personality meshes with everybody. Every single person who gets on stage and every single person who you're sitting at a table with brings something to the table that you don't. And the number one thing I can tell you is, when you come to Jewel School, come with an attitude of openness. Forget the whole thought of, this is how we've always done things, so this is how we always should do things, or that's never worked before, that could never work now. Just come with an idea of openness. Okay, here's the thing. Even if you already knew something, someone can present it from a totally different perspective. They can have a totally different twist on it. Do you know, one time, Melissa Eichenhorst, we were talking about strategy a few months ago, and we have monthly strategies for our team, right? Brittany and I, we strategize for our team, but she gave us this idea of a sticker chart, and we were like, sticker chart, interesting. And we decided to run with this idea. It was when you could earn the Nikes. So we created this like sneaker sticker chart, and lo and behold, our team loved it. We could have said, Melissa, like, these are adults. They're not going to be motivated by stickers. No, they were. So just know, even if you already know something, somebody can provide it in a different context or with a different mindset. So here's one thing I also want you to remember. People need to be reminded way more often than they need to be instructed. And you can apply that today in your leadership. People need to be reminded way more often than they need to be instructed. So instead of trying to find the next best training, the next best thing, sometimes people just need a reminder, because it will hit different based off of where they are in their current circumstance. So maybe you've already taught them how to recruit in the cold market, right? Maybe it's not they need different training. Maybe it's just that they need a different reminder. They just need to be reminded of what you have, believed or have proven to work. So here's another one. They always put this in the notes because I'm the one that has to deliver it. But the truth of the matter is, if you already knew that, why do the people on your team not know that? Why is it not being duplicated? Why aren't your leaders beneath you doing it? Sometimes we can have I'm a type 3, y'all, so I'm guilty. We can have an ego, or we can have an arrogance about us that think, yeah, I know how to do that. But the fact of the matter is, you don't know jack until your team knows jack, right? And so sometimes that's the kind of check I have to give myself, like, okay, wait a second. I might feel confident at this, but it's real apparent when you get to my level 3s, my level 4s, my level 5s, that they're not so confident, which means I gotta dial back my arrogance and figure out what I know that they don't know, because you don't know anything until your team knows. So there's your check for that. And all of this is just to kind of help you feel empowered when you walk into Jewel School. We know what some of you are coming with. We know the baggage, we know the hurt, we know the frustration, but we also know the hope. We know the potential. We know the opportunity that you're coming into. So just know, we're not over here with our head in the clouds and expecting that all of you are coming on cloud 9 with no baggage. We all have baggage. We all been through hard things, and we accept that. We receive that. We just want you to come into it with openness and with eagerness. So here's the next thing that we want to hit on. If blank would blank, then I could blank. So I want you to think for a second. If you have tons of courage, go ahead and put it in the chat. But if not, just reflect upon yourself. But when you find yourself sitting down to work your business, or looking at the reality of your business, if we're honest, sometimes this thought comes up for us. If blank would blank, then I could blank. Sometimes I think about this with my husband. If Brandon would blank, then I could blank. But I've seen this happen with uplines. If my upline would just do 3-way calls for me, then I could duplicate. If corporate would just give me the tracker, then I could motivate my team. That might be too soon. But I'm hearing that. If corporate would just give me the tracker, then I could motivate my team. Well, here's the thing. The tracker has nothing to do with the contest. Like, you can motivate your team because of the contest and in spite of the tracker, just FYI. But I hear people say this. If my team would work harder, I could rank up. Like, is this hitting with anybody? Anybody have to battle these thoughts, or do you have to help your people battle these thoughts? We might think, well, when something happens, then I can make progress. And the fact of the matter is, true entrepreneurs assess where they are and the resources they currently have, and then strategize the plan to take action immediately. True high performers assess where they're at, examine their resources, and formulate a plan to take action right now. right now. They're not going to wait. And some of you are thinking, well, good for you. You're a high performer. Listen, high performers are not made. They are made. They're not born. They're not born. I wasn't born a high performer. This was developed. Kind of like I wasn't a teacher. I went on the path to become a teacher. Now I'm a teacher. I wasn't a mom. I went on the path to become a mom. Now I'm a mom. I wasn't a wife. Went on a path, became a wife. Now I'm a wife. I wasn't a high performer. Decided to be a high performer. Engaged in the processes and thoughts that high performers have. Now I'm a high performer. You have the ability to change from a fixed mindset and to develop into a high performer. High performers create success with what they have right now. They create success with what they have right now. It doesn't mean that they have the results right now. It means they create a plan for success right now, and they are confident that it will work. They're confident. They believe everything is figured out. You guys, literally, it's sitting on my computer. I have a wooden block, and it says everything is figure outable. I believe this to the core of who I am. Listen, if I were like to fall over dead tomorrow, it's probably going to be on my tombstone, because I really believe everything is figure outable. That is the epitome of a growth mindset. And I have to believe that, because the feeling that comes up for me if I feel like I'm paralyzed is way worse than the fear of how will I figure it out. I don't care how I have to figure it out. The idea that it can be figured out is way better than the paralyzing feeling of I can't figure it out, or I'm somehow a victim to this, or I'm held hostage because my primary leg left, whatever. Like, everything is figure outable. Okay. But part of being a leader is meeting your team where they're at and helping them bridge the gap. It doesn't mean that when you hear these kinds of thoughts, you shut them down or dismiss them or disregard them. It means that you meet them where they're at and you help them create this idea of a different thought. How can I help her bridge the gap? She thinks that she needs me to come provide this. How can I get her to think she's capable of providing that for herself? How can I model it for her so she feels confident in trying next time on her own? Bridging a gap. So a lot of coaching comes from, what are they believing and thinking? And is there a different perspective that they could be thinking? And if so, how do I get them to that perspective? Coaching isn't about fixing their problems or answering questions. Coaching is about getting them to realize this is a wrong thought. This is another opportunity for you to think, and giving them the opportunity to choose a different thought. Okay? Take the time to invest in others and empower them. Remember, leaders are developed. They are not found. People say, I just got to find my leaders. You can't find them. They're not hiding. They're not hiding. It's kind of like time. I got to find the time to do that. You can't. Time is not hiding. You must make it. You must make leaders. You must make time. Okay. This is also where the difference between owning your business or renting your business. You're going to hear me talk about that at some more at Jill School. But I really feel very firmly that when someone's renting a home, there's a leak in the roof. They think if the owner would repair the roof, then I wouldn't have to mop up the water on the floor, right? But if I own my home, then I'm thinking, I better repair the roof. Like right now, I'm not going to wait. I'm not going to, hold off for the next rainy day. Like I better get ahead of that right now. And that is how you can view your business. Brooke, I just saw where you asked if I could repeat it. I have no idea what I was supposed to repeat. I'm so sorry, friend. Okay, so what is that? Why does any of that matter? Well, here's the thing. As long as you think things like, if only blank would blank, then I could blank, it's going to snowball into this idea that you're not capable. If you're dependent on blank, then that means I'm not capable. Some of you are coming in with that thought. You're coming in with, I'm not capable. When you read this sentence, I'm not blank enough to do that, what words come up for you?
Guys.
I'm not blank enough. Oh, disciplined, organized, brave, smart, focused. Yeah, smart. Yeah, okay. So I've heard people say I'm not outgoing enough. I'm not organized is one I hear a lot. Discipline is one I hear a lot. And here's the thing. We all have those limiting beliefs. We all have beliefs that we see somebody else all put together on stage, like achieving and having what we want to have. And we think she has that I don't have.
No touch.
She has that, whatever that is. She has it and I don't have it. But the fact of the matter is we all, everybody has the potential to believe that. I think when somebody asks me, Christina, where does the confidence come from? The confidence that I have is not because I don't lack things. I definitely lack things. Just for some transparency and vulnerability, I'm working really hard right now on the skill set of connecting with people. People say, well, you're a trainer. Yeah, but that doesn't require connection. So I'm working really hard on developing the skill of connecting with people. I'm also working really hard on the skill set of leadership, figuring out how to dig deep with people and not disregard, right? So everybody has things that they are working on. The difference, what allows the confidence to still show up in spite of that, is that I'm very self-aware of what I bring to the table. I focus over here on what I know I can deliver. And when I focus on what I can deliver, what I can bring to the table, what I do have enough of, it allows me to show up with that confidence versus focusing on what I'm lacking. And it's a lot, because if I focus on what I'm lacking, I will show up like an imposter. I will show up like I shouldn't really be here. I don't know how I got here. Here's what I hear a lot of the times. I wouldn't be here except for blank. Wouldn't be here except for so-and-so joined my team and she flew. I wouldn't be here except for COVID and the momentum that came from it. I wouldn't be here except whatever. So the focus, what you focus on expands. Firmly believe what you focus on expands. So the confidence that you see from the trainers on stage, it's not because we feel like we have all of our ish together. It's just we focus on the ish that we do have together, right? We're going to focus on what we know we can bring to the table. This is also closely related to the idea of perfectionism. Guys, high performers embrace discomfort. High performers embrace discomfort. We are not expecting it to feel easier or more comfortable. We're just willing to do it anyway. We're just willing to do it anyway. Do you know when you avoid something, when you allow distractions and you choose to avoid, it is because you don't want to feel the feeling that's going to come with that action. If you avoid reaching out to somebody about the opportunity, it's not because you don't actually want to reach out to someone about the opportunity. It's because you want to avoid the feeling of possible rejection. That doesn't feel nice. So I just choose to not. I'll focus on what feels good. Being in team chats, planning team events, finding a space for a convention dinner. Those feel how I want to feel. Successful, productive, involved. Those feel the feelings that I like, so I'll do more of that. And I'm telling you, high performers are just willing to do a lot of the things that require them to be uncomfortable. Guys, perfection is the enemy of progress. If you're coming here expecting that we're going to help you have a perfect business, a perfect mindset, and that when you leave, everything is going to be fixed, guys, I'm telling you that ain't true. If that were true, we would all have everything in our lives 100% perfect. That's not, perfection is the enemy of progress. And I'll tell you, it's the enemy of joy. If always the scale of measurement is perfection, do you realize you are going to lack peace and joy and satisfaction and excitement and boldness and courage, and all of those things are what makes following you attractive. If you want people to follow you, you got to figure out how to have more courage, boldness, joy, peace. Nobody wants to sign up and do something that's going to create chaos and turmoil. you have an option. I have the same responsibilities that you have. I built this in the same hard way you did. Most of you don't know this, but every rank I ever had, ever, until the rank of Sapphire, I lost.
What?
Every time.
Show me.
Every time.
I don't know. What?
Did it make me have feelings? Sure. Did it ever divert me from where I wanted to go? No. And listen, this was over the course of years and years and years. Some of you might think I was like a quick on scene. Y'all, I've been building this thing for 7 years. 7 years. Took me over 4 to go diamond. This wasn't something quick. It was a lot of failing forward. Matter of fact, when I did the stats last year in my business, I had been down in points more than I had been up. 64% of my years in business, I had spent down in my points. That's like over 1 in 2 months, like over 60%. Okay, but hope. I always have possessed the hope that things are figure outable. Okay, so successful leaders are not perfect. We're actually really far from it. You're going to see us make mistakes. You're going to see us disappoint you. People are going to let you down. Just know we're doing the best that we can. I know when I come to Jewel School, I want so much to connect with every single person. And it's like, man, I could focus on the few I didn't get an opportunity to connect with, and I could beat myself up. And I'm telling you, I will. I'll wake up every morning at Jewel School, and my first thought will be all the things that I have not done, that have not measured up. But I'm telling you, I know exactly what to do with those thoughts, and I will turn the focus, and I will focus on what connections did I make? Who did I add value to? Who's leading better because I was here? And I just choose to stay in that arena. So just know, we all have the options, okay? All right, here we go. Some of you have thought, I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. I hit it on a minute ago. We think I'm not worthy because so-and-so is the reason I got here. I'm not worthy because I got here one time, but I've actually never hit Jewel again. And now I have to go to this Jewel school when really, am I even a Jewel? Like, I don't know. I'm not worthy because I'm staring a Jewel trip in the face come September, and I might not be on it. So that must mean I'm not worthy. Like, I hear these stories. Guys, I have friends who are in this situation. So I see the struggle. There's a lot that can go into this statement of I'm not worthy. Insecurities, low self-esteem, comparison. So-and-so joined after I did and she's further than I am. The belief that you don't deserve success, or that aspiring to be successful is somehow selfish. Here's one. We should just accept what we have and learn to be content. I signed up a rock star, hit emerald once, fallen back, never hit it again. My primary leg left. I'm not maintaining. I've been at this rank for years and I've not moved up. Guys, regardless of what is in that baggage for you, this thought right here, it can halt forward progress. Perhaps the reason that you've not maintained, or that you've not ranked up, perhaps the reason you're not maintaining, perhaps the reason the primary leg left, perhaps it's all because you've not felt worthy all along. And that's a choice. You're choosing to receive that thought and then keep it. You're not ever at fault for the thoughts that come up. They're unintentional. We live in a fallen world, like that's just part of this world. But you are responsible for what thoughts you grab onto. Because when you grab onto a thought, it's going to look for evidence to prove you right. It's going to bring up what that one person said one time. It's going to bring up what your dad told you after you made a giant mistake. And you've attached that sentence to every other unfortunate circumstance that has happened since then. Your mind is going to look for evidence to prove you right. But what if your mind was looking for evidence to prove thoughts like, I'm on a journey and I'm figuring this out. I'm on a journey and I'm not letting myself off the hook until I get where I say I'm going. When you start thinking things like that, your brain will start looking for evidence to prove that right. Your brain will start looking for the times that you kept the promises to yourself to work until midnight on the 28th of the month. You said you were gonna, but no one else on your team was, so you let yourself right off the hook. But this time, because you're believing that you're on a journey and that you're gonna figure this out, you're gonna keep that promise. And you're gonna be on the computer, working your business, till the 28th of the month. And then 6 months from now, you're not going to be alone doing that. Okay? All right. Regardless, I said that already. So like I said, if we can be okay with the discomfort that comes from feeling like I'm exactly where I deserve to be in my business, guys, your thoughts affect your actions, which have led to the result of whatever your business looks like right now, which means you're responsible. But the good news is it means you're capable of changing. So there's some statements that you can say to yourself out loud. You're going to feel totally goofy, but I don't really care. Remember, we embrace this feeling of discomfort. So you can say things like, I am worthy of success because. Sometimes all you can muster up is, I'm worthy of success because other people are being successful, so therefore I can too. Do you feel how that like just lets all pressure off? I can be successful because other people are being successful and I can learn. I'm worthy of success because I'm willing to do what it takes to be successful. What if you just became suddenly willing to do whatever it takes, regardless of how uncomfortable you feel, regardless of how many times you've done it before and it hasn't worked, regardless, what if you just became willing to do what it takes? I'm worthy of success. Why? Type those in the statement. Why are you worthy of success? I'll wait. Why are you worthy of success? Don't make me start singing, you guys. Oh, good. Thank you, Aubrey. I'm worthy of success because I'm willing to learn. Yes, me too. Me too. I'm willing to learn, Aubrey. Ooh, I like that, Jill. I'm worthy of success because I will not quit. Because God created me with gifts. Whoa, y'all are going way too fast. Because I'm willing to work hard. Yep. I was called to this opportunity for a higher purpose. I'm worthy of success because why not? Other people are going to be successful. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to debunk your limiting belief. So choose the limiting belief that you feel like holds you back the most. Remember, it can go back to that I'm not blank enough or I'm not worthy because. What is that limiting belief that you find yourself really, it's crippling you? It's crippling. There's a belief, you don't have to type it, but there's a belief that you have that is keeping you from reaching your potential. When you sit down to work, it's holding you back from doing the amount of work you know is necessary, or it's holding you back from reaching out to the people that you know you need to reach out to. What is that belief? And then we're going to work through these 4 questions. Question number 1, is this really true? And I don't know where you base your truth or your foundation, but I hope you have a foundation, because sometimes things feel really true to me until I go to the source of truth. And then it's like, wait a minute. The thought of I'm not smart enough to figure this out, it can't be true because I'm capable. I'm capable. I've made it this far, therefore I can go further. That's one of the most encouraging things you can think. I've made it this far. You've made it farther than most. You can go further. So is this really true? We can rob the limiting belief of this thought. We can rob it of its power if we can challenge its truthfulness. When something feels like maybe it's not true, all of a sudden the power that belief has over you, it's reduced. Might not be gone away, but it's definitely reduced, because if it's not necessarily true, is this belief serving me? How is this belief serving me? Limiting beliefs can only survive if they serve us in some way. Here's how your limiting belief is serving you. It is allowing you to let yourself off the hook, some of you. Maybe it makes you feel special to be the victim. Well, not everybody else's primary leg has left. Mine has. Yeah. Yes, Brooke, it's giving you an excuse. For me, if I let that belief serve me, I will literally just stop what I'm doing and go make a sandwich. Like, I'll just avoid. I'll avoid. Maybe you're craving special attention, or you want to feel somehow self-righteous. I'm an OG and now I can't figure this out. And so that puts me set apart. People will have a certain sort of adoration for me, right? Determine how the belief is serving you and then decide if it's worth it or not. Here's how I phrase this. Is this belief profitable? I'm a type 3, okay? There's a lot of things that motivate me, but I'll tell you right now, achievement is number 1. So if a belief is not profitable, then I ain't keeping it. I'm not keeping it. And I don't care how I feel about it. I don't care if I ain't keeping it. So is this belief serving you? Is it profitable? Number 3, what is an alternative belief? This is where you have to get creative. Thought work is hard work, right? Instead of your limiting belief, what else might be true? Because remember on number 1, we said, could this be not true? Well, if it can be not true, then there must be an alternative belief. Now listen, this is easier said than done, but it will get you in the practice of questioning your limiting beliefs. It can be very beneficial to write down the limiting belief that you have, and then next to it, write 2 or 3 alternative beliefs. Some of you are thinking, well, that's stupid. That's positive affirmation, and I don't believe those positive affirmations, right? So writing down 2 or 3 alternative beliefs until you find one that you feel like you can sit with. And it might just be, I'm capable of learning. The other powerful thing here is it shows you that there are options of realities. And you're choosing. This is so hard. I don't know why they make me tell you all the hard stuff. You're choosing the reality of what you believe. You're choosing the reality of what you believe, and you can choose different. Okay, number 4, how would I feel if the alternative belief was true? You guys, we operate out of our feelings. And you actually have, I learned this from Jessica Heffley, you actually have the power to create any feeling at any time that you want. Did you know that? Isn't that cool? Like in the most stressful situations, I value security. So this is just a personal example. I value the feeling of security. And so in the most stressful situation, I have the ability to create the feeling of security and safety no matter what. No matter what. So how would you feel if the alternative belief was true? The limiting belief usually leaves you feeling bad in some way. I'm a type 3, so the bad feeling that I notice most of all with these limiting beliefs is shame. Because I avoided blank, now I feel shame. Because I didn't measure up over here because of what I was believing, now I feel shame. So it usually leaves you feeling bad in some way. And this will happen even if you're addicted to being the victim. Most people with victim mindset don't actually love being that way. They don't understand that there's another alternative, but they don't love being that way. It's why they're not fun people to be around. And they don't even want to be around themselves. So these limiting beliefs make you feel bad in some way, but the alternative belief usually leaves you feeling something positive, hopeful, right? Free, relieved. Sometimes just knowing there's another opportunity or another possibility to think leaves you feeling free. Guys, isn't that a way better way to operate? So these 4 questions, you can use this in your parenting. You can use this with your team. Like when somebody tells me I'm not a good blank, I will say, interesting. Compared to what? You're not a good recruiter compared to who? Is it really true you're not a good recruiter? And I'll just think through this process, and I don't tell them these questions, it's part of my coaching process, but I'm always thinking I need to help them debunk what they're believing. It's not true. Okay. All right. So what you'd have to know moving into this retreat, this Jewel School is, next slide, please. Okay. It is not the mountain we conquer, but ourselves. Guys, It's not the next rank you have to master. It is your thoughts. And I feel this so hard. Some of you know my upline. She's one of my best friends. Her name is Brittany Howard. And we almost had a breakup several years ago. I told you guys I had never maintained any of my ranks. I had not been maintaining Emerald, was living in such fear that somehow I would not ever figure this out. And one time I'm like, Brittany, I don't understand why you just won't tell me what to do. And she said, Christina, you are the most doing person on my team. You're the hardest doer of all the doers. It is not what you must do. It is in who you must become. And that changed everything for me. It's not the mountain you must conquer. It is yourself. It is your thoughts. Okay, so we covered today the fact that you get to choose what to believe. A lot of the times we mistake beliefs for truth. We mistake feelings for truth. Meaning if we believe it in our mind, it must be true. Some of you feel like if you read it on Facebook, it must be true. But we do this with our thoughts. Like, well, it's in my brain, so it must be true. I must have to sit on that. Like you don't have choice in the matter. It's thrust upon you, and so therefore you must bear the weight of that truth. But the reality is you have a choice, and you get to choose what you want to believe, and therefore you get to choose what you really want to live out. What do you really want? What do you really want? So I have 3 words that I'm going through high performance habits right now, and you have to pick 3 words. And so when I'm sitting down and thinking about what I really want is to be productive, playful, and peaceful. That's what I really want. So if thoughts come up that don't serve me in those areas, I get to choose. I get to choose to not receive that. You can choose to believe that you're a victim, that everything bad happens to you. Therefore, live a life always feeling like you get the short end of the stick. You could choose to feel that way. You could choose to think, well, if I was on Brittany Howard's team, I would have the success Christina has. You could choose to feel this way. Or you can choose to believe that you are fully capable and fully worthy to pursue and achieve greatness. And if you choose to believe that, you will feel empowered, motivated, and in control of where your life and your business is headed.
Is that Avery's? Put it in her
Which
room?
one sounds better? All right, friends, here's the thing. Here's what you can take to the bank. Limiting thoughts create barriers that prevent you from growing. You can choose to be successful whenever you want, and you're exactly where you deserve to be in your business, which means you can change it. Okay, so your call to action today. Think of your unintentional limiting belief that you chose earlier. Go ahead and think about that. Then I want you to physically write down the alternative productive belief that you want to embody and post it in 5 different places that you will see every day.
You gonna play with Mac?
Mac. When you see it, I want you to say it out loud. Because again, your brain needs to believe you. So you're gonna write it down. Find a post-it card. I write affirmations and things from my kids on hearts and stick them on their bedroom doors. But I mean, write it on a piece of paper. I don't care. Write it on whatever you want to write it on. But then post it 5 different places. You can post it somewhere privately. Post it in your medicine cabinet where you take out your toothbrush. Post it in your visor when you flip it down so the sun doesn't get in your eyes. Post it wherever you want. But when you see it, say it out loud. Say it out loud. All right. Super fun. I get to pass it back to my buddy, Matthew Aaron. You guys, we are so excited for y'all to come to Jewel School.